Hello there! Thank you for pressing play on this new episode of Project 25. I was away for a little bit taking care of some personal things, but I am back and there are many more interviews coming up soon. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe and follow. For this new episode, I interviewed Christina Edube. She is 31, and in the past 6 years, her life turned upside down through different events such as graduating from college, losing a brother, getting married, overcoming depression, and becoming a mother. In this interview, she tells us her experience through these life changing moments and what she learned from them. I met Christina at college studying journalism, and we quickly bonded as we shared similarities, which come to the surface during this episode. So, don't miss it, because it is an honest and delightful conversation between two good friends. Project 25 was born out of the obsession that we have of figuring things out. Honestly, being 25 is weird because we either pursue certain goals without questioning if they're what we truly want, or we're not sure what direction to follow, and that leaves us with a lot of uncertainty. I'm Andrea Juarez, I'm 25, and I decided to ask my family members, friends, and people I admire about their experiences being 25, what they did, what were their beliefs, what they've learned, and what's their advice for the new generation of 20-somethings. There is a lot to live and learn, and I believe that by listening to others, we can reflect and learn a little bit more about ourselves and think about what we want for our present and for our future. Welcome to a new episode of Project 25. Today I have the honor and privilege to interview a dear friend of mine, Christina. Christina, I met you at SAID at the journalism program, and we become very good friends since then. You've done your career in journalism, you work in communications, you are recently a mother as well. Congratulations. That's a big role for sure.
For sure. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you for
So,
having me.
yeah,
Um,
welcome.
thank you. And yeah, recently new mom, 2 months old. Well, not the first time mom, but second time mom, but I have a 2 months old baby. So exciting times, full hands. Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you for your time. So, Christina, I meant to ask you, what is your age, title, and how will you describe yourself?
Right, I just turned 31 August 10th, and I am currently on mat leave, but I am a communications director for Dalhousie Community Church that's in the Northwest Calgary. And I think I'll describe myself now. I'm a mom, outgoing, fun. I love socializing, being with friends. Having a good time trying to distract myself from the realities of the world, especially now. So I really enjoy every moment I spend with my friends because it gets really cumbersome when you're at home with two kids at home and it's like you can't think about yourself, just a kid. So I love going out with friends, having a good time and chilling, having conversations, entertaining and dancing. Those are things I love doing.
Yeah, I witnessed that dancing.
Yeah, yeah, that's one of my favorite time. I don't do that very often anymore. Things have really changed. It's funny how, but yeah,
So that leads me to my question.
yeah.
Christina, what did you do when you were 25? Like, were you studying or were you working? What were your hobbies? I know a little bit, but the audience does not. So can you share that?
Oh yeah, so 25, wow. I think I was 25 6 years ago. Anyways, when I was 25, I enjoyed partying and I was going to school. I think that was I turned 25 August of 2016. That's when I went to SAIT. I met really cool people, but I was still in my partying stage and 25 was like a big deal for me. I felt like, oh, I'm like a grown up. And then I had a wedding to prepare. I was planning on getting married the next year. So the next year. So I was thinking of a wedding to leave my best life. I was trying to live my best life. I was so excited. I was working part-time. I think I was just doing like a part-time job in the seniors home. I can't really remember. I think that's what I was doing, but I had a boyfriend. My present husband, yeah, I was living with my husband at the time. We're still just dating, so it was fun times. We didn't have anything to worry about. My life was good. I love to say my life was good at the time because there's nothing. Just school, after school, weekend is okay. Where are we going to? We're going to party. I wasn't really thinking about jobs. I just wanted to be done with school first. So I didn't really know what job will entail like, but yeah, it was just school and friends and partying at the time when I was 25, from what I can remember. It seems so far away. Like it's just too many things have happened since then. And I'm like trying to put the pieces together. But yeah, that was just in a nutshell. And that was just me. Those were fun times. 25 is a good age.
And Christina, what did you think when you were 25? So you mentioned what you did. You wanted to like graduate already,
Mhm.
but what was your vision of the world? So like, did you follow a certain religion, or did you have like a big belief?
When I was 25, I still believe like in the perfect. I knew when I'll turn 25, okay, I'm becoming like this adult. I'll go to school. Once I'm done with school, I'll have this like amazing job. I didn't really think about what job. I just knew that this school would just give me like a really good job. Like that's why I'm going to school. I'll have a well-paying job. I'll be good financially, like rich. I'll live my best life, go to where I want to go to. So to me, 25 was like school. Once I'm done, I know this is going to lead me to like a perfect life. And I saw myself like, oh, journalism, I'll probably be this cool journalist. And, whatever it takes me to, I just knew the world was easy. I didn't really think I'm going to like search for a job. I just knew that school is going to lead me wherever I want to go to. And then as I was preparing for my wedding, I'm going to get married. I didn't think about kids at the time, but wedding to me at that time was just the aspect of get the wedding. I wasn't even thinking about marriage. I was just thinking about having a cool wedding, having people over, taking good pictures. I really had a shallow view of everything that was going on prior to that. And I'll just say to me, like when once I hit 25, like was like that was like a reality check. That was like, oh, so I see how things are going. It's like it's a lot harder than you think. And but yeah, I really I wasn't worried. I didn't know the world was gonna give me like, hard times, and life was good at the time. I hadn't lost anything, lost anyone. So I was just, going with the wind and thinking like the next day was just gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and then you graduate and you're like, please give me.
Yeah, and then oh my goodness, so you go through that phase, and then you're 25, and then when you graduate, and then now you start picking the resumes and trying to apply, and that's when the reality check hits you like, oh my goodness, so this is what life is all about. And then you've taken all the student loans, and then you have to start paying for them at some point. So you need a job, but you're not getting the job, and you're thinking like, I thought I was going to school, I was going to get this job easily. It's not, and it's not as easy as you think. And being an immigrant, it puts it's a little more harder being just an immigrant, especially in the journalism field, what the field we take. Like you don't get very many immigrants in that field. A lot of reality checks hit me once I graduated. I'll tell you, like what I was thinking before, it all changed.
And that leads me to my next question. You were mentioning all these reality checks
Mm-hmm.
and saying that, oh, I had a shallow view of the world. I cared about this and that. So, from when you were 25 to this day, so in the past 6 years, what has changed, either like in the world, in yourself, in the way you see things? What has changed?
Well, first thing has changed. I've become a mom. I have two kids in 2 years. So I have two kids in 2 years, and I had two kids in COVID. So that's different. And then a lot of things have changed. So in 2018, the year when I was graduate, before I graduated, I lost my brother. So I'd never lost anyone close to me like that. I'd lost friends, but a brother, I'd never lost anyone like that. So that was like a change in that something. I just realized how frail life is at that point, and it was just so scary. So I think I kind of went through like a depressing state. And to be honest, I'm not even sure how I even graduated that year because it was really tough for me. I think we're writing like finals exams or final papers. That was in March. So I had just 1 month before we're done. So that took a toll on me, but I kind of pushed myself. But it just led me, I kind of gave up a little bit in the world. So I realized I was putting on so much weight because I didn't really care about anything anymore. And then once I was home after graduation for like 3 months before I had a job. Like I'll start something. I just wasn't in the right state of mind. So, and then I'll leave it halfway. And I kept on applying for jobs. And one thing I noticed in things wasn't as easy as I thought. So imagine graduating, like finishing school in April. I finally had a job in my field like August. So that was about how many months, and then you realize that you have to take care of yourself, and then you're married as well, and reality hits you that, oh, you have to start a family, and starting a family wasn't as easy as I thought it would be, because that was also one thing. One idea is once you get married and then you start having kids right away and stuff like that. I mean, some people choose not to, but the reality is I wanted it once I was done school. And then once I was done school, it just didn't happen for me at the same time. So it's like, these are really like, this is not what I thought my life would be like. Like having kids, is it gonna take this long? Like then it became traumatizing because then you have to deal with your family life, you have to deal with your professional life. It just takes a whole new toll on you. And yeah, so I had to deal with that going from jobs. And then when I got a job, I don't think I was really satisfied in the job I started as well. And one thing that really kicked me is that like you love something so much, you just don't get what you really want to. And I didn't see myself, I didn't know it was gonna be like that doing communication. So I knew I was gonna be like what I really want to do. But then you get a job that says you're in the communication field, but what you do, it's kind of limited. And then I feel like I'm really limited in what I was doing. I wasn't really exposing myself. So I wasn't happy in my job as well. So it was just so many things I was dealing with emotionally. And then I'll say things finally took a turn like in 2020. So I left this job, I left my other job in 2020. And then I was pregnant with my first child. And then I realized I was getting happy. I was happier because it's not very often that you leave a job and you're happy. And then even though COVID happened, I just realized that I'm home, but I'm happy. And my life feels like everything is moving. Because back then I was working, I feel like I couldn't even still take care of myself. I feel like I wasn't making enough to handle and I'm working, but I'm not happy going to the work and my family. I want a child, things like that. And then 2020, even though COVID, that's why I always say 2020 was a blessing to me. Like people don't understand. Like it's COVID year, yeah, everything was shut down, but I feel like that was one of the best years ever, personally, professionally, because it helped me grow, see the world. Like you don't have to punish yourself and go to a place that you don't like. It's depressing. You feel like, what am I doing here? You can't even work, you can't even put 100%. So it was a lot. And I took time. I was home from like March when I went back home and came back, and then I wasn't working. I was home throughout. So it really helped me even I wasn't working, but I found that I started making the right decisions. Like personally, I don't have to take just any kind of job just because I'm looking for a job. I have to make sure it's kind of like the right fit. So I've kind of taken that mindset throughout in the last 2 years. And it's just to see how I've evolved in the last 2 years. And then being a mom and shaping that aspect of my life, putting things together has been really awesome.
I am happy to hear that, Christina.
Thank you.
You need to take yourself out of the hole.
Yeah, you need to, sometimes you need something that you be like, you look at yourself, what you've been doing, and it's just not working. Probably what you've been doing is just not working. You just have to look at a different way of looking at things, and take yourself out, because depression is a bad state. It's not easy. You have to talk to people. So I good thing I had like really good people around me that encouraged me, that were there for me like in those trying times. So it really helped a lot.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're
Yeah.
doing way much better.
Thank you.
Christina, now what do you do and what are your beliefs?
Right now, well, I'm on mat leave, but I'm a communications director for Dalhousie Church, and it's been pretty awesome. I've had a I have a great boss, like really awesome person to work with, someone that believes in your potential. But there's one thing, and I'm still doing a lot of thinking. As days go by, your mat leave, it helps you to think. I know I'm supposed to resume work, but I'm trying to take a course in September. I learned something really important. Passion is awesome, but it doesn't necessarily pay your bills. So it's good to find ways to pay your bills and do your passion. Do something you love, but if you have the opportunity of getting something that can pay, because life goes on. As much as we love what we're doing, we need to be real. Like, we have to take care of ourselves. You have a family, you have to pay all these things. So I'm trying to take a course, and that will help me. And while before I resume work, I'll see how it goes. In the time being, might take a course, open different opportunities for myself, and I'll see, try to mix my passion, my job, and just be happy. Because if you can't pay those bills, you're not happy. And if you're not doing what you love, you're not happy. So you have to find a balance between the two. And that's the healthy balance I'm trying to find right now.
Yeah. And Christina, may I ask, what is the course about?
It's like web development and in cloud, AWS. So I'm kind of doing like a web development course, and then things that have to do with cloud data management. So yeah, I know the world is getting data driven a lot. So there's so many opportunities. Unfortunately, not as many here in Canada, but a whole lot in the US. And I've had people doing that, and the experience has been like amazing. So I'm going to do something that has a combination of web development, web software, and data. So I'm trying to explore, to push myself and see what that part of the world, what it gives me, and how I can mix all of this with my own experience.
Yeah, congratulations. I'm
Thank
excited
you.
like for you.
Thank you. It's exciting. It's exciting. It's gonna be hard because then I have kids, but sometimes you just have to push yourself. You just have to do what you have to do. It's a sacrifice to make things better in the future.
Yeah, like it pays off, right?
Exactly, it pays off. So it's worth the sacrifice, it's worth the temporal pain, or maybe sleepless nights. I mean, I already have the sleepless nights, so I can't imagine what it would be like going forward. But yeah, I guess it'll all be worth it at the end. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm excited for you as well. Let me
Thank
know
you.
how it goes.
Yeah, for sure. I'll let you know. Hopefully
Yeah.
everything works out great.
And Christina, I wanted to ask you as well. You talked a little bit about what happened in before 2020, but I don't know if this differs. But what has been your biggest challenge and how did you deal with it?
It's been challenging, family and career. We want to do what we love to do, our career, like, while not neglecting the family. And it's always hard to get a balance, because as a woman, you feel like you lose, like when you're pregnant, you put to birth, you lose that, you go on mat leave. So that's 1 year of your life. You probably would have been gaining more knowledge in the field, but you're at home, you're taking care of the kids. So that's a sacrifice, and that's a challenge I'm facing, I'm still dealing with every day. But I feel like at this point, you just have to accept the situation. Like, I have accepted my situation. I made the choice. I'm not going to say I was forced to do that. I wasn't forced. I made the choice. It was a difficult choice. I chose to have a family at this time. I didn't know exactly everything that comes with it, but I chose to have a family. So I made that choice, and I'm dealing with the choice. I just believe after this, when I've given myself this 1 year taking care of my child or my children, taking care of them, and then when I get back there, I've not lost a lot, and then focusing on my job at that point. So it's just being able to focus on one thing at the same time. I know it's hard. I know I miss it, but it's a choice I made, a hard choice at that, but I'm living with it, and I'm just hoping that I'll be able to get back on my feet once I'm back in the job world. I haven't lost so much.
Yeah, but I think that the way I see it too is that, yeah, maybe you are losing 1 year of career experience,
Mhm.
but you are gaining something much more valuable, which is spending time with your kids, right?
Absolutely. And don't get it, I would not trade this for anything in the world. Even I would think about it. Like if you tell me like, oh, leave your kids right now and go to work, I will not do it. No,
Exactly.
I will not do it. Like I miss it, I won't do it, because I'm in a happy space right now. I feel like this time with them is so valuable. I feel like they grow so fast and I'll never get this time back. They'll never be babies anymore. Once they start growing, that's it. So it's something that I'm going to cherish. I'm going to enjoy it, and the job will come. Once I'm back in the field, I'll try to catch up. It's not. It's something I'll work, I'll be in the field, I'll learn. But this experience of my kids, just because it's once in a lifetime, is something that you don't get to replicate. It's not something that's always there. Once they grow and they go out there. So I'm enjoying it. It's challenging, but I'm loving it and I wouldn't trade it.
Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that,
Yeah.
Christina. And I wanted to ask another question. Can you share about a time in which you succeeded? What happened and what did you do? This can be like at school, at work, in your marriage life. Like it's just like a time where you succeeded and what happened and what did you do?
I mean, the really stable thing I've had in the last 10 years has been like relationship. Like I've been with my partner for a very long time now. So I feel like so far that has been a success just for us to get to this point. Like we really started back in 2010. So that is 12 years ago. And just being able to, like, I came to Canada in 2012 and he was in Cameroon. So we were in a distant relationship for 2 years. And just to make it work for us to still be together after it doesn't work for everyone. And I feel like that has been like a major success story, just going through the relationship, because you have ups and downs, especially when you guys are in a distance relationship. It comes with so many challenges, and to be able to pull through that was like the toughest time in my life, and just going through that, because there's a lot of arguments, and successfully pulling through until him coming to Canada and then us deciding to get married. I feel like that's a success story that I can't talk about it very often, because when people ask me like, how long have you known each other, and I say we've known each other for this long, but then there's a gap where we like spent 2 years apart. Like I didn't go home, and it was just constant communication, and it wasn't easy, and it was really hard. Just not having like your partner where you are, it was really hard. And I feel like that's something, when I look back, I'm like really proud of. I'm like how far we've come, and I just can't, I'm hopeful. Like the marriage part is really, it's a journey, but I feel like the toughest part, just being away from each other, something we've been successful at. And yeah, it's been really great so far.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't know how you guys.
I don't think if I had traveled now, I'll be able to do it. It just shows you how hard it is, and the mindset. I feel like at that point, and it's funny because even though I was younger, you would think that I'll be more like it won't work out. But for some reason, I feel like with everything I know now, with the space I am with my tolerance level, I just don't feel like I'll be able to deal with that. I think the more I've grown, my tolerance level has kind of like gone from 100 to zero, like real quick. Like I just cannot accept certain things or certain arguments. I just, it's really different, and I'm just glad that that phase was back then, because if it was now, it would have been different. It's hard. I don't advise anyone. I'm saying if you can do it, go for it. If you can't, don't try. Don't. It's hard. It's really hard. So
Especially because you were so far away. Like you were in Canada, he was in Cameroon.
exactly. And technology back then in Cameroon, it was not as advanced as it is today. So the communications were not, they were not as often as it would today. It was still limited, but I'm just amazed at how I went through that. I don't know how I did it. I don't want anyone to ask me how I did it, because I don't even know. It feels like so long ago. I don't even know how I did it. Sometimes I'm in awe how I did it. I'm
I think
serious.
I think maybe it like you did it because you wanted it to work.
I think so.
And now that you're married, you're like, no, I cannot do it.
Exactly. And now I'm like, no, I cannot do it. I'm like, you made me angry this time. If it's now, I won't take it. But that time you really wanted to work. And for some reason, I just wanted it to work. And I think we both wanted it to work because it takes two to want something to work. We really put in the efforts and it was hard. But we tried so hard to make it work. And here we are.
Yeah, you guys loved each other. That's why you made it work.
Yeah, it was just love, I guess. It was love. It was love.
Yes.
Sometimes love is not enough. It takes hard work though.
Oh,
But
yeah, like a combination of both. Hey,
exactly, yeah.
yeah. And Christina, can you share a time in which you failed? So, what happened? How did you handle the situation? And what did you learn?
I mean, when it comes to work, yeah, I think I've totally made a lot of mistakes, failed a couple of times, and one of those is like understanding that people are different, coming from different cultures and communications. I always say communication is the key. Sometimes we say communication is the key, but we don't really understand that until something has really happened before we are like, oh yeah, we just needed to communicate better. So in my previous job, one of my jobs, I think was it 2 years ago, we had this project and it was like I'm communications. I was a communications coordinator at that job. So and people had to do their own thing, like come to me, I was to put the pieces together. Everybody had to send me their own piece and I just assumed, and I know I should have checked. It's my job to keep everyone on track, to make sure that this is a deadline. But I think I kind of fell down, I fell off behind that. I just did not communicate enough with the people and to get everybody's point of view and make sure that everyone is up to date, making sure that everyone knows the deadline. So we had like this event, was a fundraising event we had to do. And so the day I was supposed to put in the presentation and the PowerPoint and get everybody's information, some people had just forgotten their own part of it. So it was the fundraising was like the next day, and that was like on Friday. And the next day was a Saturday. It's not a working day. And here I am on Friday. I don't have the pieces to put together. So I'm with the people. I have not spoken. It's my job. Yeah, literally was my job to remind them. And the presentation, it was not good. It was not good. It was bad because there was a lot of work. Like I had to do it last minute, push myself, work those extra hours, but you just not everyone is responding on Friday. People are going home, people are doing whatever they want to do. And you take the blame because you're the one doing it, right? So even though people have to give you their pieces and they know they didn't give it to you, you take the blame, you're the forefront. And also the presentation was not good just because I didn't communicate with the people. And now I know that I have to be on top of things. Deadlines are deadlines. I have to make sure if I'm working in a group and I am in charge, I have to remind everybody of your deadline and making sure that, and not waiting to the last day, because that was one thing. I waited to the last minute to like, oh, can you send this to me? And that was not good, because if I had done that earlier, if I requested it earlier, I would not be in the position I was in at that time, and I mean, I had to do a bad presentation and I took the blame for it, but I could have done better. I could have asked for the work like maybe Monday, Tuesday and go over it, give myself some days to go over it, making sure that by Friday everything is ready and not wait to, and that, yeah, I think that was when I just started working actually, once I graduated. And that was like my first aha moment in the job field, like, okay, this is the real world. This is not school where you can leave everything last minute and submit your assignment and whatever. Like, this is a real world. You're working for a company, you have to do better. So that was a pretty bad experience. It wasn't good. I felt I'd let everybody down, but I learned a lot from that moment. So that was pretty one of my big experiences when it comes to failures. Yeah, I did fail.
Thank you for your honesty, but I'm glad that you learned. Like,
Oh yeah, it was a big lesson. It wasn't the type of lesson I would want to learn, but I had to learn. I guess it had to happen. Sometimes you're in school, you get away with a lot. You do a lot of last minute things, especially assignments, submission, late interviews. So we get away with that. But in the real world, things are different.
thanks, Christina. And I have one more. Well, I have a couple more questions, but I I want to ask what has motivated you or what motivates you?
What currently motivates me, I'll say having kids is a big motivation right now. Like when I turn and see, by the way, I have two boys, so two sons. So when I turn and see them, and I just don't want them to go to have to suffer. I just want them to have the very best. Sometimes you have to, where you come from, what you went through, and you just want your own kids not to go through what you went through. So they're my motivation. They are my reason why I'm like, I really want to work hard. I really want to go out there, put myself out there, make sure that I secure their education. So unlike me as their mom, they don't have to go to school, get worried about student loans. I want to make sure that their education is secured. So that's my motivation. I don't want them to go through that because once you have less to think of, those extra things, trust me, you can work extra hard because you don't have so much pressure. And I don't want them to feel the pressure that I felt or I feel. So they really motivate me. When I wake up, I see them, I know I have to go to work. Even there are days when you don't want to go to work, you feel like, oh, you're tired, exhausted, but you think that, oh no, I have to save for them. I have to make sure that when they're grown, they have enough to take care of them. They have this shelter, I have to pay these bills for them. And so I just get up, I go there, and that's another day. And so they are my greatest motivations right now, just not wanting to fail for them. I don't want to fail them. I want them to be happy and to be successful. And for that, I'll do anything.
I love that. Thank you. Especially because you are immigrated as well, right? So it's like,
It exactly, and it's so, and people don't understand the no. Some people don't. Maybe people will leave here. Immigrants do, because there's this barrier and everything we face. But it's so hard being an immigrant coming to a whole new country and starting your life all over again. And then where you come from, because sometimes you can immigrate from like a really nice place, like you don't have family pressure and everything, and your family, maybe you're coming from a very wealthy home background, your family's taking care of everything. I didn't have that opportunity. I didn't i didn't get that. And what's funny is because people, I know I should not, because my dad is here actually. I have never lived with my dad, and so once I moved here to Ken, I lived with him for a couple of months, and things just didn't turn out the way they should have. So I had to struggle on my own. I had to take care of my education myself. I had to go through those ups and downs. And then we have huge families back home that kind of depend on us. And the pressure is a lot as an immigrant to succeed, not only for yourself, but for your families back home. You have so many people looking up to you. And then you come to a field like I said, journalism. A lot of immigrants, especially from Africa, come here and do the easy thing, maybe healthcare aid. And you go to, and it's not a knock on that. They're just looking for the quickest way to make money. It's a couple of months program, right? So you do that for months, and then you go to a job, you make money, you're able to take care of yourself and take care of your family. And then I didn't go that route. I did something else. I went to school. I started at MRU. I did PR. I left and came to SAIT. So those years, that's a lot of pressure, and you still have family still waiting on you, and you still have to do all of that while working part-time, and you still have to take care of your own bills. I just want to make sure that they never even get to witness what I went through, because it's a lot. It's really a lot, and it plays a whole lot in your mind.
yeah, it made like a lot of pressure. Okay?
Yeah, so much pressure, because back home is, we have big families who look up to you. They ask for help, financial help, and they just don't understand how it is right there. And if you're not lucky to come from a family where you have everything, then you have to work and then send some things back to your family, help siblings or cousins or whatever that have to take care of themselves. You have to send them something, you have to take care of your own self. So, and you're a student, so you don't even work that many hours as well during that period. So you're dividing yourself between all of that, and it's really, really hard, trust me. And it's a lot. Being an immigrant is hard, just what we face and being here. So it's hard, but I won't trade that. I love the experience. It's really helped me. It's opened me to a lot of things and better understanding and better appreciation of every step I make. So I'm better when I go through something, I'm like really happy because I know how hard I've worked to get there or to be there. Every step for me is like a milestone.
I love it, Christina. And when you were saying that, I was thinking about like how people like back home like think we live this glamorous life, and
I
it's
know.
it's not as like
It's not
like
exactly.
I mean we can post whatever we want on Instagram, but it's like we're not living this Instagram life every day.
No,
We
we're not. We're not. We're just posting what we choose to post. I mean, we're not gonna post our struggles like just like that. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna do that. I want to post having a good time. Sometimes you just want to get out of like the bad side and you want to like, okay, just post. And we choose what we want people to see.
yeah,
We choose what we want people to see, and people feel like, oh, that's the reality of your everyday. No, it's not. That's just one day out of many days that I
exactly.
chose to have that good time. What happens the other days? Reality hits back. I go to work. I wake up in the snow. Whatever it is that I have to do, it's a hard life out here. It's not a glamorous life as you think I'm living. So people don't understand that, and I don't really blame them because I've been there, right? Even though when I was back there, social media wasn't as what it is right now. So, but now it's just too much, and I don't blame them, but it's the reality. It's not glam. It's not everyday glam. It's not everyday chill. It's not everyday, living your best life. It's not everyday like that. Some days are your worst days. So,
And Christina, talking about the good times,
mhm.
I want to ask, and going back to like the course you told me about, so what are your goals or plans for the future?
My goal for the future is once I do this course, hopefully I can get a good job. But then I spoke about something combining a job that pays your bills and your passion. And one of the greatest passions for me is to have something like, I don't know if I want to call it a podcast or a show or something, because I have all the ideas everywhere, but I know I want to do something based on like as an immigrant based on the immigrant experience. And I want different people to come and share their experience and encourage, because everyday immigrants come here and I want them to be ready, and I want to have a show based on that. And I feel like once I get a good job, then I'll be able to invest on the kind of show I want. So I want to combine that, and that show will be my passion. That's something I want to take. That's why I don't want to rush into that. I could have started that a long time ago, but I've always wanted to do it right because I want to do it for long. So, and that has been a dream of mine. And I'm hoping that once I'm established in the job, I'm able to create that. Where I'll create it, I don't know. Definitely the income, but I have to put all the little nuances together of location, something that's just, temporal. And I want to invest myself. That is a goal of mine. I know I'm going to achieve that goal. I just need to make sure that I put everything in place and I work alongside and try to achieve my goal. I just don't want to like leave everything and just work for my goal. That would be hard. So this course is going to open doors for me. I believe it will be, and that will help me walk into my passion.
And I'm excited about it. Yeah, I think that is such an important topic, especially for like new immigrants.
Yeah.
I was talking with another interviewee. He's an immigrant from Mexico as well, and he was saying like, oh, we arrive here and we have this glamorous idea of what it will be like, and then it's not like that. But just seeing other successful immigrants like that helps as a motivation for sure, right? Like it's the motivation that we need.
It's the motivation. It takes a lot. For I have a friend who is a lawyer now, but we were back home, and because of the pressure that people immigrants go through, and I'll speak for myself, and because of the pressure that we go through, we try to look for the easy route. Like we don't want to go through all the hurdles because we feel like there's just so much waiting for us. We just want to make the money, work, and take care. And we don't do what we want to do. We end up not living. We end up just, like I said, yeah, you have to work, pay your bills and everything, but you have to also think of your happiness. And we get discouraged a lot with immigrants because we feel like there's just not so much for us and we cannot do it. And This friend of mine was a lawyer. She went to school, she had a degree back home, but your degrees back home are not recognized here. And so she came here, she had to start all over again. And she had a degree and then she went to law school. And she said many times she wanted to give up. Many times. You just don't get enough lawyers coming from like where I come from here in Canada. And she said many times she wanted to give up because there's just so much. And she's like, people would tell her, like, why are you wasting your time? Like, all those things will not help you. Just go look for this job, just do this one. And she's like, yeah, she did all those things. But something kept telling her like that it's not enough. Like that's not all she wants to be. That's not, she doesn't just want, she wants to live, you know. And when I say live, it's being happy, having something that you wake up in the morning and you look forward to. It's just not, oh, every day is the same thing as a routine and it's like a chore every day. So she doesn't want her life to be like a chore every day. She wants to actually live a happy like looking forward, being excited. And so she had to push herself. Having that conversation with her, I'm like, there's so many of us that have these moments and we need to help others out there. You know, I know it takes a lot. It's not as easy as I'm trying to make it sound, but it's hard. And we're best to understand that than another fellow immigrants. Like we best understand ourselves. I want to open that platform for someone like people can relate, because a lot of people, once you can relate to someone, it makes the information easier to accept or to believe. So I want to create that platform where people can relate to other stories and be like, okay, yeah, I can do it. I know it's not easy and I can do it. If this one did it, I can push myself, I can do it. So things like that make me say, oh no, I think a lot more people, I'm not the only one who needs to hear your story. There are a lot of people who need to hear your story, especially people who are just coming. And so they should not be discouraged. That actually drives me, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah, we're very much alike.
Yeah.
Every story is important, you know?
I think we're very much alike because we are immigrants, so we have different experience and we come with those experience, and it's a good thing that we want to share that, and we want to help different people who are like us.
Yes, 100%.
And I feel like that's one of the reasons why we actually really clicked. You remember, like when we were in school, it was just us because we better understood ourselves. You know what I mean? So like it made it easier. Like you can relate to someone, and relating to someone is really important. And I feel like that was what helped us. Like when we were in school together, it was like, oh, you're from this place. Oh yeah. So it's good that we want to pass that knowledge down to other people.
Yeah, I remember we had our minority group.
Exactly. And it's still amazing that we still have that till today, right? I mean, we're all doing our own different things, but just the fact that we still have that, and well, how we could relate and how we could go through that together. So it's amazing. And I wish a lot more people can go through that, because some people go to schools, they don't even find people they can relate with, looking. And it's always good to find, like they say, look for your village, your tribe. It's important to have a tribe, because your tribe will understand where you're coming from. And I'm not saying that don't have people, but it's important to have a tribe that understands you, that you can talk to. Having people you can talk to always helps. So I really want to help people with that.
Yeah. And Christina, you were just saying that, yeah, having your tribe is so important, which leads me to my, I wouldn't say last question, but almost the last one. In the past 6 years, you've gone through a lot. So, what advice do you have for today's 20 somethings? Or what do you wish you knew when you were 25?
Be an open book and don't limit yourself. The world is evolving, be flexible. Like everything you thought you knew, it will change as you grow older, as your responsibilities shift, as life happens, things will come up. And be an open book and don't be down on yourself. So once you're an open book, once you're flexible, once you're not rigid in your ways at 25. I know some people at 25 is like, oh, I'm going to be this. I'm going to be in this nice relationship. I'm going to have this. I'm going to have a career. I'm done with school. I'm going to have a good job. The real world is just not like that. It may happen, but know that it's not the probability of it happening, it's slim. And so you have to be flexible. You have to know that. And you don't have to be down on yourself feeling like if you don't have those things at that age, you'll never have them. Because 25 is just what? It's just 25. You still have the next 25 years to live. You still have a whole lot of life ahead of you. And don't be down on yourself, feeling like if you've not achieved all the things you said at that age, it means that's the end of you. Especially as women, we feel like we have a timeline on our lives. We feel like we need to achieve certain things by this age. If not, we are like dumb, People always put the age on women like, oh, you're getting older. It's like, no, that's not true. And at times you feel like at 25, like the real life starts. And just be open, just be ready and embrace it, embrace the challenges. It's going to be hard. Talk to people. Don't close yourself to whatever you felt like you didn't achieve. There are other people who are going through what you're going through. There are other people who went through what you're currently going through. And just seek to talk to people and make sure that you enjoy every second of it, because no second is repeated. I'm gonna tell you, like, I being 25, actually, once I enjoyed like the party and everything. I'm glad I did all of that, because like right now, here I am, like it's so limited. I cannot do it because I have a family. And then you're 25, you wish you had a family at the time. And I'm like grateful, even though I wanted a family at that time, I'm grateful that I didn't have the family at that time, because it gave me more time to like kind of enjoy what I miss now, but I'm glad I did. Enjoy your friends, enjoy your family. Life is going to take you to different places once. So just live every moment and be open, be flexible. That'll be my advice. And I'm glad I got to do some of that when I was 25.
Yes, so no one can tell you anything that
No
you.
one can no one can actually tell me anything, because I lived my best life in that moment. I mean, to me it was my best life. I could do what I wanted. So, going where I want to go. If I had to travel, I'll travel, and those were good things to me. I was having my best life. I cannot go where I want to go to at any time I want to go to right now, because I have two soldiers I have to think of. But I'm glad I did that back then, so I don't have to live in regrets like, oh, I wish I had done that. I wish I had done that. And I'm just glad that I did what I could. I mean, I lived a really exciting life on before 25. So I'm glad I did all those things. Now I can look back, I'm like, oh, you remember when I did this? Oh, those were good times. I don't have much of a regret in terms of did I really live my life like that? I don't have much regrets like that. So I'm glad I did that. And I wish other people can do that as well.
Thank you, Christina. Yeah, and I'm sure people will enjoy hearing that, and hopefully that motivates them as well. And I have just a one last question, Christina. So, is
Okay.
there anything that you'd like to share that you think it's important and I didn't ask?
When you're growing up, there's 25, there's 30, there's 40, it keeps going. It keeps going. And I want people to take care of themselves, like mentally, because with everything that's going on, right, there's just so much going on right now, and we could get in a really dark place at times. And you can have all these dreams, but if you're not in the right mental state, you just cannot achieve anything. And it's important for people. I just feel like, my advice to anyone that's listening to me, or who's been through this journey, or whatever it is, talk to anyone, be in the right, avoid things that bring you down, avoid people that bring you down. Don't surround yourself with negative energy, because it's not good for you. You need to be uplifted, and you need to uplift others. So if you're in a place where everyone is bringing your dreams, bringing you down, you should stay away from that. You should go to where you're loved, you're uplifted, and ignore things that don't matter. Certain things don't matter, especially things that don't help you or build you. Ignore it. Don't give your energy into it. Self-affirmation is key. Do not hope for anyone to. If you cannot love yourself, people cannot love you how you love yourself. So love yourself, take care of your mental health, and stay away from anything that will bring you down. I think those are the key things that, especially as I'm growing older, I've learned, and I'm reducing my cycle. because I feel like some people are not building me, and I just don't need to be in that cycle, and I need to take care of myself. And whatever I want to achieve, I need to be in the right state of mind. So that'll be my advice to anyone that's watching right now. And yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Christina. I am just very grateful with you for like sharing your time and your energy and yeah, for your presence. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Andrea.
Thank you so much for listening. If you like the episode or you think it will be helpful for someone, feel free to share. You can also find the written stories at medium.com/project25. If you know someone who would like to share their experience being 25, you can send me a message at the email that's on the episode description or through our social media channels, which are also listed on the episode description. Thank you for your time. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you later. Bye bye.